Collins.
Wow, that was quick.
I know.
Okay, really in and out, okay.
Yep.
I have an errors and omissions form that I would like the select board to sign. What errors and omissions is we have started the, heading down the path towards grand list for 2021. We have filed the abstract, and then upon filing the abstract, we discovered that some surveys had been recorded and they didn't cross our desk until after April 1st. So one of them has a deduction in acreage, and that fellow would probably like to see that deduction in this tax year. So for that to happen, it will have to hit the grand list as an errors and omissions. And normally errors and omissions is an error of the lister's office, but it's just a matter between the front office and lister's office that it didn't occur. So if I could have.
So do we need a motion?
What do we have to, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Do we need a motion?
Yes, because I had you put it on the agenda, it actually had to be warned.
Okay.
You'll have to have a motion, and then on the second page is a place for all of you to sign if you
Okay.
want, but you have to have at least 3.
Okay, well, the other two are in the other room, but they're not here to vote, so I'll make a motion that we sign an errors and omissions document for the listers.
Yes.
I'll second it. On the actual acreage, was there quite a discrepancy? Or was there something sold there?
It was 4 acres less. It was really quite interesting because the document said, the deed actually said, being a parcel of 96 acres per an earlier survey. Not being the licensed surveyor, I'm not reading where the discrepancy is, but some of the old deeds went from the center of the road, maybe the new one didn't,
Right.
who knows?
So it's 4 acres on 90 some odd acres?
Yes,
I was just curious.
yeah.
So how do you deal with it moving forward?
It may have never been there, it may have been from the center of the road. There's a lot of easements on that property, including the railroad going through it. It's behind Sylvester's, so there may be some acreage difference there. And then it may have never been there. The thing is, our surveying now is not done, our mapping is not done in-house. So somewhere down the road, our mapper may say, well, it's here, or it's there. The property in front of it, between there and 105, has all been surveyed, but to each side, we don't know yet. So it will come out in the wash. And all of our surveys all say plus or minus X amount of acres.
And
So
they're
it's
related
gonna
to a
surface
tree and a
someday.
pin that aren't there
Yeah,
and
that's,
everything
someone
else, you
thought
know?
that rock, you know, and
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
But we have no exposure by signing errors and omissions
that is,
relative to, okay.
right, this is just part of the process.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Pass around.
And then if I could have the form back after, what happens with the process is, we hold the form, we continue on through grievance, people file grievance, etc. We hold the meetings. After grievance is complete, we go through and file our grand list for the year, including that form, and it eventually ends up in the vault with the grand list and the results of grievance.
Okay, could I ask you a favor, because we'll probably forget it tomorrow. I'm trying to write a grant for a walking trail on the land, the piece of property that is behind the playground, that I call the woods behind my house.
Between your house and the playground?
Yeah, that whole strip that goes all the way around the playground. Just a map or whatever, how many acres it is.
Yes.
I'd like to do a trail and have, a reading trail, or maybe get some woodland animals carved into the trees, whatever. I haven't got it all in my head yet, but I need the amount of space, so I can ask Scott how much it'll cost to put a trail in there.
6, 7.
Oh, 6, okay. Could you change it for me?
I
Is it
will.
the 6th today?
I have the date wrong.
No,
No,
it's
it's the
6 month.
Not the fifth one.
Oh, shit.
You're good.
I'm still.
Don't worry.
I get you.
Don't worry.
Well, I
It's
think-
tough for us
I
old
think I've been
timers.
dating that right
You know, I don't even know what day it is anymore, so it's 6/7/21. I should know, it's the day my grant was due, the other one. Okay, we have
Here you go, Mr. Collins.
we have a guest, Representative Hango.
Hi,
Hi.
nice
to see you.
to see you all. I'm sorry I'm not here very often during the session, and I'm just here tonight to listen. I wish I could have gone to the ambulance meeting, but that wasn't gonna work out with the other select board meeting that I have tonight. So, just here to listen to what's going on and find out what's new. Sometimes I feel a little out of touch, so it's always good to be in person, and it's been a long time since I've been able to attend select board meetings in
Right.
person.
Us too.
It's nice to have one
Yes, it is.
face to face.
Kind of a normal one.
And thank you all for your hard work during this pandemic. It's been a challenge.
I applied for a grant today that said I should let you know that I applied for it, so I applied, I think, I'll talk about that later, for a furnace for the Historical Society.
Great.
From the Arts Council, so it said, please let your representatives know. I said, so you've been told.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will make a note.
You're welcome. We have two members that are in the building, but they're at a Zoom meeting in my office, our office, to meet with Enosburg to discuss ambulance, whatever they're gonna announce. I think Berkshire maybe wasn't gonna go. We all have meetings tonight, so I don't know who'll be there, but Sherry, you can put them down as present, Sherry
Okay.
and Andy, because when they're done, they'll be in here.
Okay.
If they're done in time. Unfortunately, our flags didn't arrive for Memorial Day, but they've come in since then. But the guys did a good job trying to hang what good ones we had in various spots, one on each street. I'm not happy about a grant that happened this morning for the furnace, because it should have been done prior to the day it's due, which was today. I'm hoping it's in. I spent several hours this morning on it, so we'll see. Because definitely needs a furnace down there, and I guess furnaces cost $20,000 in buildings like that, so hopefully we'll get something. Highways.
Not really anything too outstanding to report on highways. Things going along as usual, I guess. Nothing really outstanding that
Okay.
jumps to mind, really.
When do you anticipate starting paving?
They're figuring August now.
Okay.
Paving
That's-
road or sidewalk? Road?
Yeah. It was earlier. He thought he had an opening where he could do us, but then a state job came up and they seemed to take the slot, so we're bumped off till August again.
And do you guys have any interaction with that 105 project?
Not really. We're getting
Okay.
some of the material that they can't use in
Okay.
our
good.
stockpile at the village garage.
No, that's good.
Yeah, we'll end up crushing it and using it years to come here.
Yeah, like I said, they're gonna be doing that till November, maybe.
I know it's slow getting through.
Yeah, for sure.
That it for questions? Buildings, Sherry said an accessibility group, and I didn't hear the whole name, is coming to fix the library lift this week. And then she's gonna tour the building to see what needs to be done, any kind of jobs that need to be done in there. She says she's putting out the fuel bid for the next meeting, at least to Fred's, Blue Ones, SB Collins, and Course.
Now, is this heating fuel or is it fuel for the trucks and equipment over at the garage too?
We should probably do both, shouldn't we?
Well, I think we have in the past.
Now, who does
The only
the
thing
Well-
is, they end up, if it switches, they end up changing the tank.
tanks? I know. Who's got it now, Blue One?
Mhm.
Remember we decided to leave it because they had to switch tanks if we went?
Well, that's what happened the last time they switched
Yeah, I know.
tanks.
Do you wanna just leave it alone?
Well, if it's a lot of
Well, if it's
difference,
a
it's
lot.
worth it. If it's a cent or something, well, is it?
Okay.
Well, I can't imagine the fuel will be that different. The heating oil could be,
Yeah,
but
Mhm.
check on.
I don't know.
So check on
It
the,
all varies.
what kind of
yeah.
fuel are you calling it? Check on
Well, ours is highway fuel.
highway fuel, okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell her. Well, she's here. She'll be back in. Highway fuel as well.
But it's
Okay.
just the thing of changing the tank. It belongs to
Right.
Blue Wind, so.
Yeah, I remember that when it went empty and we had a problem last
Well,
year.
it's Blue Wind now.
Right,
McAllister sold it to Blue Winds with
Right.
a transaction,
Right.
so.
right. Okay, Sherry also said she's putting in a claim for the roof, for the damage the roof caused over at the, leaking roof caused over at the post office. The ambulance, which would be Andy and Sherry and the powers that be, would like to move the ambulance office from the upstairs small room because first of all, it's freezing in the winter. It has good Wi-Fi, but they don't need Wi-Fi, so they thought if they needed somebody for Levi that it would be better she's up there anyway, because she worked out of there when we had town meeting and the Wi-Fi is better. What they're going to do is fix the lock on the door and bring down the locked files and do the back of the office I sit in, so.
Do you need a motion for that?
No, I think we can, she
Okay.
can move buildings or
Let's
rooms
do it.
around any way she wants.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm just telling you that that's the plan.
No, I think it's
they're
great.
gonna do it Sunday and I
So
think.
they're sharing your office?
Yeah. They're gonna have to fix the bolt on my door because mine hasn't been locked since I've been in it, but, she's gonna fix that next week, have it fixed, and they'll just put their locked file on the other side and make better use of that office, cause there's really nothing on the other side, and why should they freeze all winter, you know,
it's
upstairs?
perfect.
There's no heat at all in that room, so it makes sense, and, cause 3 of them usually come in on Sunday and work on the bills as well, so they'll have a little more space to work. I think they asked Ricky Mason, a couple other people to come help them move the stuff, so shouldn't be a problem. Just to let you know that that's in there. I probably will have to get something to lock up the personnel stuff I have in there and the drug files and stuff, because I don't want anybody to be able to wander in and look that stuff over, so I'll find something to lock up. I'm trying to think, I thought there was a water and sewer thing. Water and sewer is Andy, if he has something, he can let you know. I asked the men to test the well at the request of the state, to test the well at Larry Martin's, because as I told you before, the groundwater there has got the E. coli of 2,400 plus. The well water is okay. The guy from the state said it's too hard for private people to get anybody to test a well right now with COVID, so the guys did it and they took it down, had it tested, and the well water is drinkable, so. Then I spent quite a bit of time the other day talking to the Department of Agriculture, who is coming, or came Friday, I guess, to check out the animal situation on the Gilmet Road. I haven't heard from them yet what they concluded or saw, but at least we got the Department of the Environmental and the Ag Department here, which I thought was pretty good. They both came, so if they can't do anything, well, that's not gonna do us much good, but, and John has sent a zoning violation up there. And I said maybe we should take it to court because it's come to the time where it's becoming a problem. Okay.
It's been ignored for quite a while.
It's been ignored for a long time and the neighbors shouldn't have to put up with it. And I think that one of the neighbors is getting a lawyer too, but I went up by his property. The whole lawn is dug up by pigs and, you know, you don't have to live that way. So anyway, I'm left it in the hands of the state. There's no more really we can do. Water and sewer, that was that. Parks, playground, and cemeteries. I'm trying to figure out a grant to do some more recreation stuff. Kayaks were out all weekend, both weekends. So I'm gonna see if we could get a couple more kayaks as well. It seems to be quite popular now that it's down right on the access. People are just and borrowing and wanting them for the weekends, which is fine with me, you know, as long as they're getting used, it's great.
And again, if you wanna forfeit that information to me, I'll be more than happy to take it.
I told you I was a bit, just worried about double booking,
understand.
but I'll figure some kind of a plan out.
I'm used to taking reservations.
I know you are, but they'll call me all of a sudden and it's like, oh yeah, okay.
And what do I hear about tubes, inner tubes?
Well, Kylie's formed, and a bunch of people have formed a rec committee.
Okay.
So they're gonna do some programs, and I think she's gotten an outdoor movie theater. I think a skating rink. What else was there? Popcorn machine, you know, for the outdoor theater. We'll do movies this summer. And I think they were gonna try to get some tubes, and if not, I'll try to put them in this recreation grant that I'm trying to get,
Okay.
that I got the kayaks from. So I
But
could have
those
gotten
will-
tubes then, but I didn't.
But those will interact with the kayak
Could
station,
be.
whatever.
She'd also like a building. I'm gonna see how much I can squeeze out of this.
I got you.
grant. It's the
Okay,
grant I got
just-
for all the playground equipment, so I'm hopeful that, I know it's not that hard to fill out. It's easy to get if you just have to have a match.
Just looking to follow up.
Which brings up another thing. You know, you got $40,000 in there to match the rail trail. What's happening with that?
I haven't made the calls yet.
I think it's still gonna be in there at the end of the year.
Probably will.
I'm looking
and
at that as
it'll
matching
default. It'll default to whatever other recreational programs you need, and we'll have to budget it again for future, or make
End
it go
it.
away totally.
Make it go away totally is
Well,
my
We
idea.
just didn't wanna get into the year and find out we had no money to
I know,
use on it.
but half the
We
year-
thought it was gonna progress a little
Half
faster.
the year's over
Well,
already.
I think it
20
might.
years is over.
There's a few programs, and just to be perfectly honest with you, it may be adjusted. It may have something to do with REAC, and whether REAC purchases the Mike Horanic building, and the rail trail may end there because we have some conflicts with people further along the trail that don't want to sign the easements.
And one right after that too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it may end there below that park, below the Overlook Park, which wouldn't be a bad thing.
Well, we
And-
talked about that 5 years ago. That's
Hey.
stopping there. And
Yeah, but nobody's been paying attention to it.
We've hired somebody to pay attention to it.
Well, you know,
We spent $15,000.
I will be speaking to her actually tomorrow.
Good.
And we'll see what we need to do about that.
Yeah, because
It may
that
be
contract
unrealistic, yeah.
Was $15,000 supposed to be done December of what, 19? We haven't progressed at all, and I hope we haven't paid any of that contract, because it was supposed to be
I don't
done.
think we have.
Well, we did get quite a few more names signed, more landowners signed on board.
Well, two.
For
of
the
them,
easements and
yeah.
stuff,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got like 6 more easements since
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it was active when I left the board in 2018. So I'll try to pick it up now and see where we are. I'm supposed to go over to St. Albans and see Bethany, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay, because,
Mostly because I need excuses to go to St.
There
Albans,
you
you
go.
know,
There
I
you
to
think,
go to the
she's,
big
I think
city.
she's still working remotely, pretty much.
Yeah, well, they just bought that property down to Montgomery, and I think she's kind of involved with that, but I have left a couple messages for her. It's okay, it's progressing. I actually made a lot of progress today on something else, but we'll
You
talk
talk
about it
about that
afterwards.
after?
Yeah,
okay, cemeteries, I'm still trying to figure out which stones, I see more have fallen over, I'm trying to get a grant for that. Ambulance, hopefully they're gonna come in and tell us what's going on. I know they saw, Pork Chop brought up an ambulance today for them to look at, which they were.
yesterday, actually, yeah.
Was it? Today's Monday.
Yeah, and it was Sunday. I drove past, I almost stopped.
He brought it up and Paul Martin looked at it, but I think the whole group looked at it today. Now, I may be wrong.
There was one yesterday, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay, well,
questioning.
whatever,
it.
if it's the same one, is
There's
it?
another one, and it
No.
has a very attractive price according to Andy.
Yeah, it's
that it's-
150,000.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's the same one. I think he brought
Yeah.
it up. I
And
think he
it's
and
a-
Paul were riding around in it or something.
And it's a 2022 frame.
Yes, it
So
is.
it's
Brand new.
absolutely.
We don't have any money though.
Well,
And
we
maybe
may
Lisa,
or may not.
maybe Lisa could answer this.
Oh,
I've.
so
seen that-
sorry that you showed up,
Yes.
aren't you?
No, you know all that wonderful money that's coming to us, we're entitled to about 700,000.
Yep.
Do you have any idea when that might show, some of it?
I do not. I know that they were supposed to start dispersing it around May 10th. Now, whether that's been delayed because it was going to go to, across the United States, it was gonna go to county level governments, which we do not have in
Yep.
Vermont.
Right.
So I believe it had to go to the state in Vermont, and then
It
they
did.
will dispersed.
Second question on
First,
that.
the people to talk to on that is VLCT, the
Okay.
Vermont League of Cities
Yep.
and Towns.
I went to a face-to-face thing, but I still am not, where can we find out what we can buy with that money?
They should also have a much better handle on it than you or
VLCT?
I, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, they
because
have
I was wondering
attorneys
about an
working on
ambulance
that.
or an elevator for the post office or things like that. We don't have any idea if we, how can we plan? I know we have till 2/24, but you know, when we get it, we're gonna spend it, I'm sure.
You'd like to.
So that's who I
have a
should call
plan.
tomorrow,
Yes, I would
VLCT.
definitely call VLCT.
Okay,
Karen Horn's been working on it.
Karen Horn?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did a web call on what it
Yes.
covered.
Yeah, but they didn't tell us enough on the web thing.
Told exactly what it covered.
Well,
And
it
maybe a
didn't
recording
though.
of it.
That's what, Kylie watched it and didn't say.
It's
What we could
mostly
actually-
geared around safety and life safety.
Well, those would cover. I went to the one with Bernie Sanders, it was a lot about recreation for kids, which is another thing we wanna do, or recreation for anybody, you know. So, okay, I just knew, I was talking to my friend today that owns the theater, and you know, the theater owners are for this money and stuff too, and they were supposed to disperse it in May. And they have bills to pay before they can open, and she says it's just one thing after another, and it hasn't come yet, so.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to come soon and come with guidelines because you have
Yes.
very specific projects that you would like to use it for.
Exactly.
And you'd like to know whether it's a yes or a no.
Yeah, because we'll look for other sources,
Sure.
and those deadlines come like today.
Mhm.
So, okay, that'll help. I'll call them tomorrow.
Let me ask you, if the 80% vaccination rate is achieved tomorrow or the next day or whatever, and the state returns to normal, do any number of pandemic relief funds disappear?
I don't think so. Anything that's already been allocated, I believe, can be used. I don't think there's gonna be any shutting off of any funds that were related to the pandemic because they've already been allocated in various budgets. Now, the governor hasn't yet signed the current budget that we presented to him on the last day of the legislative session, which was the 14th, I believe, of May. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
the end of that week.
I don't know
yeah.
what day it is.
I
think it was a
I'm
little
having a
later
hard
than that,
time
but yeah.
thinking
It's
that
May
it's been that
something, yeah.
long ago. So that news should be coming out very soon, but I don't see any of that going away if it's already been allocated and approved.
Well, I would see it affecting a lot of individuals. The unemployment assistance will go away.
That's
The-
different.
Yeah, I
yes.
understand, but
Yeah.
it still rolls up into availability of pandemic funding.
Yeah, so that, the $300 extra, per pay period for unemployment is from the federal government, and I've heard that that's staying with us until September, and I'm not sure if it's the end of September, I believe that's what I
Right.
heard. And then after that, the state has just passed it, to pick up after that, a $25 per person, per claimant, per week, program that's gonna continue on into the future.
It's called what, the Quesabilla program?
Might be about what it costs.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't mean to give you a hard time.
No, it's fine. That was a really difficult conversation to have.
Oh, I'm sure. There's no doubt. And I just wonder, because of the lack of definition on the funding that the town may receive, let's say $700,000, that if and when it finally becomes available, how twisted it may become. You know, oh, sure, you can use it to raise chickens. That's the only use that you can use for it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
It's
pretty
just,
sure you're gonna find out soon. The guidelines have to come soon
Yeah.
on that.
Appreciate
We
it.
need to make some plans.
I don't mean to put you on the spot,
Oh, no,
and we
that's
appreciate
okay.
the
I
efforts that you're making.
Oh, you're welcome. I just wish I knew more,
Yeah,
really.
it's okay.
Yeah, good. Okay, here's the tough one for tonight. I don't think it's tough, but, I don't know if you read the Courier about the, Franklin Northeast Supervisory Union
didn't.
contracts. There was also, it was pretty eye-opening. There was also a meeting the following Friday where they pretty much eliminated the post office. Not that they've done any negotiations with us yet, but they pretty much eliminated it. I'm not sure, and I have been asked several times about extending their lease, and I said, well, when we find out where you're going, it'll make a difference, because if they go one place, we might be able to rent some space. If they go another, we won't. But I did say that we would let them know tomorrow what the amount would be. Apparently, at some point last year, they made some kind of a verbal deal that it would be the same as it is now.
With,
Andy and maybe Sherry, I don't know, she doesn't, anyway, it wasn't signed. There was nothing signed, there was nothing in
Sure.
writing. To me, that we can change anything, even if it was in the minute. He says it was in the minutes that we agreed to extend the contract. I have no problem with that, if you want to extend it for a year, but we since have done a kind of a cost analysis and found out we're pretty much losing a little bit of money there. And the amounts that they were willing to spend, I mean, maybe we should do this in executive session, but I think
No,
people should, I think people
so.
should know. If they read the paper and they listened to the meeting, the deal for Enosburg is $80,000 right up front before you walk in the door. All of
and they don't get the same level of services.
they would have to pay for heat, lights, taxes, maintenance, it's like, I'm just saying, that's an option for them to spend that much money, and I think the building down here was $600,000 to purchase. So I really would like to put in my 2 cents that I don't think that the $2,000 a month for our, and the threat or whatever it is that, well, we'll just go down to Enosburg and stay in, it's fine. I mean, if we don't rent that upstairs, we're not gonna be paying high air conditioning all summer and heat, etc. And, you know, maybe we'll get an elevator, maybe we'll sell the building, maybe we'll do a lot of things. But what would you think is fair for rent, considering?
I don't think there's anything fair for rent if they're considering moving along.
Well, we've
To be
really,
honest with you,
we've
I
accommodated for years. We've
I
kept
understand that.
the same rent to keep them here.
But
Hasn't
it-
done us any good.
Yeah,
so-
but
You
we
gotta-
shouldn't keep the rent low and lose money.
No, we
Right.
can't keep doing that.
I mean, they put out an RFP that was a beauty pageant.
Well,
No,
it wasn't,
nobody knew
wasn't
that
made
they
for
were
us.
staying here.
Yeah, it
You know,
wasn't made
and
for us.
uh,
But you know,
not-
that 80,000 would put an elevator in that building if that was, if
Sure
that was the problem, was the ADA as much as anything.
I don't know that
Nobody
that was
offered.
the
Nobody
biggest
offered.
problem.
Well, that's what they claimed Friday. It wasn't so much the location, it was the ADA compliance.
Well, they just want to move.
I
They,
know. So
we're
I
at the
know.
end of the line. They want to be more central to the district. They want to
Sure.
be, well, I know, but still,
8 miles.
it's closer.
Well, it's not closer.
It's a
If you live-
16-mile
no, it's not.
round trip.
No, it's not, because a lot of people don't live in Enosburg.
I
They live in
understand.
Richford and they live in
I
Montgomery.
just-
But we can't
um,
debate it
Thing
because
is,
they made
the
the decision.
supervisory union's been run here in Richford ever since
75 years anyway.
Ever since I've known.
That's when they had 3 people running the district. Now they've got people from Enosburg and Richford
So they wanna extend their lease.
for 1 year, because they don't
Are
want
they
to
willing
move
to
twice.
pay a little bit more,
I'm
must
gonna
be?
ask
I
him
would-
tomorrow, a little bit.
I think.
think
I
so.
would think they have to make us whole at a minimum.
We can't keep losing money.
No.
That's
We
correct.
charged 42,000 in our bid. When we bid, Enosburg charged 48 plus all the other costs. We charged 42 including all the costs. If
And the
you
people's
think,
bid was
buy
undefined.
our building for 600.
Yeah.
It was undefined, yeah, it was undefined. So, when I talk to him tomorrow, what price do you want me to start at? I mean, do you want?
42,000 a year.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
kind of
alright.
what we,
That's what we bid. And that includes all the,
so it includes.
Includes
That
everything.
includes our expenses
Janitor,
associated with the
everything.
building.
It
Okay.
includes everything. All they gotta do is walk in and do their thing. You don't have to pay a cent.
they don't even have to move. Okay, so that's the price, that's what I figured, but I just wanted to make sure that that was, and if they say no, well, we'll go back and, or maybe they'll just walk out.
That's a livable price.
It is. They get custodial, they
For
get.
them too.
Well,
It's-
apparently, but.
Well,
what's he
ultimately, they're just gonna pass it along to us in educational taxes.
At least this way,
No, it's,
we're paying for
Yeah,
Richford.
but
we're
that's
not paying
something we
for-
didn't wanna see just keep going up, but.
Yeah,
it's-
no, I agree, I agree.
But you see, what my thought is though, if they rent it for a year and we have a chance to rent that downstairs, which is handicap accessible, it's gonna be locked in for a year. That should be of some benefit to us that we're letting them keep it.
It can.
Because maybe we could rent it. We haven't
Well,
tried.
can we put a caveat in the contract
I
that
don't know. We can
as potential rental tenants come up, we may squeeze their space occasionally, and we will.
We can put anything we want in, they
We
don't have
can
to accept it.
discount their payments
Sure, according
relative to the
the
space that we consume.
Okay.
Well,
But,
they're renting the space, they're renting the space.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's written out.
It's, well, we added
If I
that
was a
space.
tenant and renting the space, I wouldn't want somebody to keep crowding in
No,
on me.
no, I think either rent it or not.
Right.
I mean, we gave them that free, by the way. When they were gonna move last
I
time,
understand.
because of handicap, and the Border Patrol moved out, we just gave them that for maybe it was $1,000, I don't know what it was.
Well, we've been very generous over the years.
I thought, so, okay, so we're gonna say,
42,000 a year.
okay, and then if they wanna negotiate, they can. That'll be the first time they've ever negotiated. I mean, according to the paper, they talked to the other town and then talked to Rice, and we never saw them here, so. So I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this now that it's on video, but that's the facts, so. All right, so we'll get that done. Other business, you said you had something else.
Yeah, I got a few things. I've been working predominantly on trash. I've spoken at length with the Solid Waste District. I also have an opinion. I spoke to Kristen, what's her name? Samphis? What's her name? The attorney and
Shamus.
Seamus, okay.
Shamus, yeah.
I spoke to her today to interpret their opinion. She was going to forward some information to us. And I need to know in the relatively near future, I can put together a fact sheet on the potential options and so forth. We are currently the only town in the district that is associated with trash collection. Okay? There is trash collection in Fairfax, which is a taxable issue. Okay, that
It's on their taxes.
they
here, yeah.
folded into the
So
property
we're not the
tax.
only town involved with trash.
Well,
It's on their taxes,
technically,
that's
yes.
pretty
Yeah,
involved.
Yeah, technically, yes.
But Fairfax is the whole town and it's included in their taxes.
That's correct.
Not just the village.
Right.
it's
That's
town-
correct.
it's
There's no
townwide.
special district at all. She was gonna forward an additional memo from January that I didn't have.
Oh, yeah, she already answered the question that
Okay.
you just
Okay.
said you asked her.
And
It sounded like we needed to vote when she answered it
yeah,
before.
if it's a charter change,
Which
it requires a town-wide vote. If it's just to eliminate trash service, it can be a special district vote.
But this is a
but-
charter.
Oh, it doesn't have to be. If it's just to adjust the special district, then the special district can vote on it relative to the charter, is what she told me this afternoon. And,
Okay.
but I don't think it would pass to eliminate it because it's such an attractive rate and so forth.
Oh, attractive it is.
The opportunity, I spoke with John Letty at Solid Waste for about an hour this afternoon, and he indicated that there's a number of different ways to go, but he understands the problem that we have with the black market stickers, and potentially the town has it's a paper only, but $130,000 receivable. So it's kind of unfair to the people in the village that are paying their bills because they're carrying everybody else that isn't paying their bills. And it's self-sustaining. It's not costing us money to do it right now. And my thing is, on the board before I got here, they said trash, goodbye.
I couldn't do that.
What's that?
You can't just do
Well, I know because of the charter requirement, but
Well, it's basically, we gotta change something, cause nobody likes the way
Exactly.
it's working now.
Exactly, but there are ways you can
Everybody
change
that's
it.
dealing with it in the office here doesn't like the billing procedure, they don't,
well,
But
just
nobody
how-
will answer this question for me.
I might be.
Why? Why? And I say it every year for 12 years. Are we paying for people that are not on the system? Okay, if I don't pay my trash bill,
Yep.
which I haven't yet this month, I don't have my stickers. Nobody's giving them to me.
Yep,
So we're still paying the trash hauler for me.
you're right.
Why aren't we saying, no, don't pick up her trash?
Because the trash haulers, over the course of years, have said, we can't be responsible. We can't give a
Then you
driver
don't
a
get
list.
the, you don't get the
No.
contract.
Here's the difference. I can structure an RFP to go out this summer, since we don't really know when the contract expires.
Should be
Nobody,
September.
no. We have
It
a
always has been.
we have a contract on file that's dated December 2018, and that contract is with Bruce Weatherby,
Mm-hmm.
and no one,
Why doesn't the town clerk's office have a copy of the contract?
they do not have it. And I asked Sherry, she does not have it.
She didn't check.
John said, I don't know. John
course he
Weatherby, okay, because it's to benefit him that he doesn't know, okay? But in
I
all
remember him
seriousness,
coming over and signing it.
well, and I read through the select board minutes, and there wasn't a number of notations about it, but
What year was that? 2019?
2020.
He bought out
I
the
forget.
rest of
I
Bruce's
marked. I
contract.
actually marked the minutes in the book. So
Because it should be, he took over Bruce's contract and it should have ended this September, to my knowledge, to my recollection.
except that there's white out on the existing contract and the dates have been changed. Okay, so I don't know what that's all about. So, but the bottom line
I'm
is,
not in charge of trash.
but I know. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But the bottom line is, we could structure the RFP so the town basically washes their hands of it.
Of the sticker.
If it needs to be a single hauler contract, they can bid on it. They can propose to either maintain the sticker system, they can maintain
You mean the hauler?
the hauler, I'm sorry. Yeah, a container.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can structure the RFP so that it includes billing and collection for these people. So they, and I
would
tell you
think
what.
that would be the easiest way.
Right.
My thought.
Why it isn't done or wasn't done, I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
Well, I gotta tell you,
The way it's
if-
written in, it's just that the
Town
town
will
of
be
Richford
responsible.
has to provide
Right.
garbage collection, right? Isn't it?
since it was approved, in the state statutes, it says specifically, pardon me, and I'm sorry to bog down on this. Trash collection in the former village area shall be considered as a special services district for those residing therein. Voters residing in the special services district may, by a majority vote of those present and voting at a duly warned meeting, authorize the select board to enter into a contract for such service. The select board shall set a rate for such service sufficient to cover the expense of the contract and shall collect such rate from those property owners so served. And when I talked to the attorney today, she said if you want to have just a vote of the special district, which takes roughly
Very
90
hard.
days,
It's
60
hard- It
days.
would be hard to do. too.
Yeah, and, but then there's also,
But if you were to structure your RFP on the terms that they're gonna do their own billing
Right.
and their own.
yeah,
That's the problem is
The billing.
billing part of it.
What-
Well, I understand that in here, and to be honest with you, I mean, I potentially solved the problem for a potential hauler. Change the color of the stickers,
Yeah.
well,
and then they collect all the money.
then you'd start all over again with, yeah,
Well,
that
they
would
can
be
put-
their problem.
but they can do that.
run whatever system they
Right.
wanna run. If
They can
they
do that.
Other haulers don't have stickers. They just pick up the people they know paid them.
Right. That's
How other
correct.
towns work.
That's
All
correct.
we have to do is provide
Provide the service.
service. Pick somebody to do the
If somebody,
service.
if a contractor is running it, if the people didn't pay, they wouldn't get picked up. Plain and
That's
Exactly,
simple.
correct.
exactly.
That's
Same
correct.
at your house. If you don't pay, they don't pick it
Right,
up.
Same, it's same as in
So
the
if
town.
we pick the hauler who has the best, for our people, then it's up to them, and you can write it that way. We hire somebody to mow the lawns. We don't then continue to have
Oh,
a
I
nose in
agree.
it.
I agree. I just need to know if we want to go out of the trash business or if we want to request proposals to move forward with whatever hauler it might be, to continue that service. And our input in it, according to the charter, is we would still set the rates. The hauler would have to apply to us.
What the
To
rates,
With
us
what-
taking the best
what
bid.
he would have to receive to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know. for
I like
instance,
that choice because otherwise we're gonna have to have votes, warning, vote.
Yeah,
And I think you'll find people will vote to keep it. So
Oh, in the
if you
village
go with
they
the
will.
second one,
well, if it's a charter adjustment, it's the entire town has to
Right,
vote.
right, but this-
So it may pass because people out in the
Mm-hmm.
town, they don't give a hoot about the special district.
We pay our own trash.
Exactly.
well, I pay my trash too. It's not like I'm not paying it,
Yeah,
believe
but the
me.
town doesn't have to be involved.
There's a-
Right.
there's
Why's the
a-
town gotta be involved in
They
There's
trash?
another opportunity, and I don't know, it has to do with, a special tax can be levied in the special
Yeah, you
district,
can charge them.
but it
Like
has
water
to
and
be based on the grand list
Yeah.
values of the
Yeah.
properties. That's what it says specifically.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know how you would structure that, in
You
order
same
to
as the
pick up
water
the
and
trash.
sewer bills though.
Well, yes and no, because if you got a $250,000 house and a $50,000 house, how do you say,
Well, I
you
think the
gotta
trash is
pay
safe for
$84 a
everybody.
quarter, you gotta pay $84 a quarter?
I don't know how-
Because it says it's based on the
I
grand
would like
list
them to pay
values.
the hauler myself.
Okay.
I mean, that's just me, but I think it would save us, a lot of people are gonna be really upset if we just,
Maybe in the long haul, it's worthwhile to bring it to a vote and get out of the trash business if that's what the
Maybe,
townspeople
but you're
wanna
gonna
do,
have to
though,
start
but I don't-
soon.
I don't
Well,
know.
in the
Third-
past, when we voted annually, there was always a vote on the special district ballot to raise whatever
So,
we
yeah,
raised that
right.
year.
Mm-hmm.
when did they stop doing that? When it merged?
Yeah. pretty
You know
much.
why, and you were around, I wasn't here. Did that come about because of the hauler who didn't take the trash to the place it was supposed to go, but put it up in East Richford?
No, that was before both of us.
Okay.
That was
Okay,
before both
that
of
was
us.
before you two.
And the stickers came about after the merge.
Okay,
And that was an argument that came about as, well, the problem with our trash hauling system is people bring the trash in from out of town and dump it in the village.
yeah,
Well, I never really saw that as much of a problem
right,
as things go. The
Yeah.
whole purpose of us having a trash hauling business was when we didn't have it, then we had bags of it occurring out
everywhere,
along the roadside.
yeah.
We'll just go out along.
Well, and that's,
get
could
along.
appear now if we got rid of it,
Well, if we got rid of it altogether, yes, but, and we have.
and overflowing dumpsters at every house.
Yeah, but if you retreated on your system and canceled all the dumpsters that were
Yeah.
illegal
Yeah,
and only offered them to commercial property,
Which
then
it
you
should
put
be.
all the residentials in the special district
Mhm.
back on the system, it would again equalize
Yes.
who should be paying.
Mhm.
And because you found the documents in the minutes that say when the system went in place, you could prove to people who say, well, show me the document and I'll
Yeah.
pay.
Yeah, well, it's
Well,
there.
There's further complications now because in the last couple of years, the Vermont Universal Recycling laws have been passed, and they offer regulation as to the size of trash that's generated by an individual household. It also calls for recyclables. It also calls for composting and all these things. And I don't have a problem incorporating it into a request for proposals, but I don't think anybody's gonna bid it when it comes said and done, because it's gonna be too expensive.
Oh, we
Okay,
also have almost 500 rentals in the village of Richford, and we have health code that
I
calls
agree.
for
yeah.
20-gallon containers under sinks and 30-gallon containers of.
I was reading those
trash.
ordinances today, yeah. The other thing, and there's been a lot of discussion if there could be a private transfer station in town, which is what John Weatherby wants to do. I don't know where and if he has the property.
He had to.
Private rather than municipal?
Well, private for him, and what he would basically do is he'd still collect the rubbish, and then he'd take it there, transfer it, as opposed to a drop-off site, and transfer it, so he can take bigger trucks to the dump, to the tipping stations, saves him a lot of money by doing it that way. The permitting process for that is a minimum of 120 days, maybe twice that amount. And it's depending on what types of items he's looking to haul and so forth. The other thing is, the district is not opposed to putting a drop-off site in town. We partner with the different communities around Franklin and Grand Isle County. Most of you are familiar with the site in Montgomery. And it would work the same way. Basically, it's $3 for a bag of rubbish, and there's fees for, everything else. We have an upcoming special collection this coming weekend,
Where?
which hasn't
In
been,
Montgomery.
no, here.
Where?
It hasn't been fully
It's coming
defined.
this weekend and we don't know where it is.
Hey, I'm not in charge of it, okay? And that's something else we should talk about later, offline. But I also consulted with them about that and tried to get better rates for disposing mattresses and
Well,
these kind of things.
Let me
But
just interrupt you a minute. You know that they've collected enough money that we're having a townwide collection.
special collection
Yeah,
this
but it's
weekend.
nothing to do with the state. It's Levi's got some
I
donors.
understand,
Okay.
I understand,
Mattresses, whatever. you
I
can bring.
understand.
Okay.
And she has a
Glad you do.
she has a better price on mattresses than what the solid waste district could negotiate, okay? Things like that. However, we have not utilized any of our tire allotment with them.
30.
So, what's that?
Well,
No,
they said 30. No.
John Letty told me today,
None?
the slate is clean, so we can.
I've got 100, I can bring them.
Well, you can do it.
Well, I think
They can't
because,
be-
Mark
They
took
can't
them
be
all.
larger than 20 inches. So your heavy
What do we
equipment.
do with the ones 20 and over? Eat them?
Yeah, I guess, make planters
Where
out
do we
of them or
take
something.
them? Well, if he's got some, where do we take
To,
them?
Georgia.
solid
Georgia.
waste will take them for free at the
100?
redemption
Do we
center.
have a lot?
I've got another 100.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
so, and they'll take them for free.
make a trip.
And he
Stop at
said,
McDonald's.
he was sending me a poster, because I asked him about what type of items shouldn't be collected.
Hazardous
And-
material.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be that, and it may be, I don't know what the status of electronics is and things like that. So I just want people to be aware going into it, what's good, what's bad, and so forth.
Right.
So that event is very poorly defined right now. And so I'm kind of just walking around in the dark room grabbing at stuff. But it's, the bottom line is, they would be more than happy to put a drop-off site here. And they would accept
I like the
everything.
idea of a drop-off spot myself.
Would it have to be on town property? Well, it could be up in the
Other
garage.
communities, they have some private, public.
Well, it could be at the town
agreements.
garage or the fire station or someplace if it's not gonna stay there, if the stuff gets taken that day.
Well, the way the way it would be done is they put off, like in Montgomery, they put off the drop-off dumpsters, and they built stairs to
They
them,
have
so
stairs to get into
them.
and they have attendants that are staffed by the solid waste district, and they
Does the town
in
have to
turn.
pay for them?
No.
Oh.
There is some partnership. I asked John about what the cost to the town would be for the infrastructure of the whole thing. And he said, you know, we haven't started any new ones since he's been the executive director of the district. So he said, I'll look into it for you and I'll get back to you in the next week or so. But it would seem a reasonable alternative, but then let's go full circle back to, do we take a vote on the town charter? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm running around in circles, just trying to,
Well, it's kind of a circle, isn't it?
Yeah, well, bring it back to us.
I'll get you
You get
some
us more information.
specific facts and so forth.
Okay.
And again, this event, this weekend,
We
I
don't
know
know,
nothing
but we'll
about it.
find out, okay.
I think it's a
Too bad
good
we
idea,
can't
but,
Announce it tonight, yeah, we can't. We'll get it
Yeah.
on the webpage if we find out.
yeah.
I forgot to approve the minutes from the May 17th meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All those in favor?
I,
Any other business? I don't know how they're doing down at the other. Do you wanna take a quick break and let me see if they're gonna come back and give us any kind of information, or if they're,
Someone else.
What's going on in the meeting, they're just getting ideas right now on what they can do to save money. And I basically said, no, I think the general consensus here is we'd like to work together in order to save money. I mentioned that the contracts that they have helps them, but it does not help us. We had 88 calls last year to assist Enosburg, either in Enosburg, Berkshire, Montgomery, or Franklin.
is that 220 the whole
That's
year?
A year from today, or actually
January?
June 1st,
Okay,
2020 to May
Today.
31st, 2021.
okay.
So, all right. We had Robert Gleason come up. He's from North Carolina, but he's from the area.
Well, we all know, yeah.
Yeah, he sells his stuff. The last ambulance, I want to say, what was it, about 230, 240,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and we bought it from him, didn't we? Was it a
No,
bond?
no, this
No,
was
this
the
was
one
the
that
bids,
was
yeah.
recently.
Oh, there is, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
This one he brought up is a 21 chassis. It was sold, but he's got, I think he said 4 more coming. What he's telling us with trade-in of what we have,
Mhm.
the
The
old,
second one.
the second one, we can get a 22 chassis with the new box, which you, Sherry's seen it. You weren't there, were you? you
No, I
show
didn't
up.
hear it, no.
Okay. It's very similar to what we're running for our Unit 1 right now. It seems to be well made. It's a 350 chassis diesel.
And you saw it?
I saw it, we went through it, and honestly, had I not, it's just like sitting in my own truck, to be honest with you.
Wow.
But, he's got a quote here of 151,805. He said by signing this paper, it would hold it for us. We're not obligated to buy it, but this is something I feel that we should consider very seriously. Just the fact of the matter is, both rigs are over 100,000. They both are showing age. Unit 2 we've had troubles with, and still, we haven't had to run it much lately, but
Right.
it's still running.
Have your calls increased significantly?
They're probably at par for budget,
For
from what I've
budget.
seen from the numbers I've
But
seen.
now that we're doing returns, it's picking up a little bit. Right?
Weird, it's funny, and I think it's a seasonal on the returns.
Right.
I know there's one that I think Our Ladies went out today. I don't know if it's gonna be returned, but usually those are where we get our returns, either
Mhm.
Ave Maria or Our Ladies.
Right.
So, but yeah, I would guesstimate probably 20 to 30 of those so far this year.
And we didn't do any last year.
But we're still funding a lot of intercepts, or some.
Joey's pretty much our only intercept right now. We're working
Okay.
on a second that she's coming back online, so
Yeah.
that's gonna help us out.
Yes.
We're getting a break from Mrs. Goy. They charge us $125 for intercept, where Enosburg's like $275, I think.
Yeah.
So,
And
when
M
we
cares like 2.25 or whatever.
400.
400.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see those bills.
They're 400 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's something to think about, but the person coming online, she's an A, so
Yeah, she's gonna do. I don't need to intercept.
we're gonna be able to have someone in town. I would say, I'm gonna guess about 90% of the time, an A
Beautiful.
somewhere around,
Yeah.
which will help out tremendously.
Right. Right.
So that's what we're trying to do. We've got three people, 2 fire department and 1's a wife, going through the EMT class right now. We hope to have them online by this fall.
Are you talking about the local ones or the?
Yeah, the local
And
ones.
then we've got some others that are interested.
Yes, and I have to talk to them.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm
So, yeah.
hoping the person from Colorado or wherever who used to be here
Yep,
is gonna work with us. He's got all his certifications.
so
Current.
that's what we're looking for, trying to push forward. We're trying to keep it so we're well-staffed. There was a point made out, EMTs, they don't like to jump on an old rust bucket. That's gonna fail us halfway.
No, they don't like that.
No.
It's an adventure factor.
No, not when you have someone's life at
I
stake.
understand. I'm just.
Life has things that aren't always great.
No, we try to
Well,
avoid them. though.
what about a potential funding mechanism for this?
Well, that's the part I need some help with.
Yeah, don't we all?
No, seriously, I think we need to look into it about how can we fund something like this? What can we do to move this forward? Because I think it's a necessity. But,
Well, I think our ambulance is in pretty good shape right now, so I'd like to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I'm gonna call, Lisa suggested VLCT might know where this COVID money could go. I'm gonna call them first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And let you know how long does he give you for this signing?
Well, he said if we signed it, we could get out of it. It's just
Right.
basically holding the ambulance.
Holding the
for us.
ambulance,
And
What's
it's
the
not,
potential delivery date?
well into September from my understanding because of the chip shortage.
Mhm. Same with buying a new car right now.
Yeah.
I signed, but I don't have to do it yet.
Here's somebody else.
They moved on to their other meeting.
Oh, so they're done?
Yeah,
Good.
I closed them, took it all off on the computer.
Oh, you did, thank you.
Signed off his.
Any observations?
From them,
Yeah.
pretty much was, we were talking about, a year or so ago, about regionalizing. That's what they're looking into, and that's what they're pushing for more so than anything. But
Is there any potential benefit to us? I mean,
we're doing really good right now ourselves.
I understand that,
And to regionalize, at one point, is it Josh down there? Is that what his name is?
Josh, Dunsmore?
Dunsmore.
Andrew.
Andrew. What he was saying is, which makes the most sense to me too, is like, you got Memorial, have them do a certain part of
Yeah.
Franklin coming this way, and then Enosburg takes care of this section, then
Are
Richmond
they
takes
willing
care
to
of
give
this
it up
section.
though?
And then figure out how to divide that up. We would do part of Montgomery, we would do part of,
Yeah.
Whatever closest to us.
exactly,
Which-
and to separate it
which
out
is
like
kinda
that,
the
so
way
it's
it
a
used to be.
flow.
Well, it was
Yeah.
like that.
And it should be like
Were
that.
they
Yeah.
amenable to that, or did they?
They said that sounded like a good idea, and then they went on to have him go and touch bases, they didn't know the name, and it was Jen over in Troy, how they went about regionalizing. But I don't know if we first say have to regionalize to do that, but I do know we should be all working together as partners.
Yeah.
But to be under one roof, I'm
No.
not so caught on that.
No, I don't
But
think.
working together as separate entities, for one gain, I
And
think is a great
sharing the
idea.
pot.
yeah.
And
the pot.
sharing the
But
capita, making
I'd be-
capita the same for everywhere.
Right,
And all
I'd be
of us
concerned
taking
about
it.
who calls the shots.
yeah, well,
That's,
that's why
that's,
she's saying that.
that's what my worries are. 'Cause
We've already
it's-
learned
it's
with some other things.
Kinda like the school district.
Yes,
Yeah,
I just
We're doing
really,
well, we need to.
we're doing really
be
well
our
right
own-
now. We're
yeah.
taking return trips, we're making extra money. Is that gonna say in 6 months that something big doesn't happen?
Right.
Well, no, we can't predict the future, none of us can.
It seems to be the kind of roller coaster
It
we've been
is,
going.
isn't it? But if we could separate out and
This is another
have the
charter
same-
adjustment we may need.
Because
To sharing.
what the
possible.
capita is, what the smaller towns around us are paying compared to what we are is really ridiculous compared to what we pay per capita. So to be able to make that even across the
Yeah.
board for us
Yeah,
fair
that'd be
for our
great.
taxpayers plus all their
If
taxpayers.
they're willing to
And
do it.
Enosburg can do the same thing, because what they're paying for capita is probably pretty close to what we're paying, just a little under us, I think.
really.
Well, whether
Yeah, their
they'll
town.
share or not shows their intention of really wanting to be
Right, I
part
think
of
we
a
need to
group.
break it up, and it needs to be nonprofit.
If they're
and
not
then
willing to give it up, then
Right,
That's
How's
my
that
part,
help?
you know,
Yeah.
We need to
even
draw
a
a map.
percentage of that.
that's what it is we
Yeah.
need to make the map.
Yeah.
And follow by the map, and still mutual aid each other, of course, when
So
needed.
course.
ultimately, it would become a nonprofit.
Well, they
We
were
are.
talking about that too,
Yeah.
yeah. It
We're
becomes-
not making any money.
Well, no, but
But
we're
we
not
should
being made whole either, so.
Right.
right, we're a unprofit.
And they're receptive to this group regional coverage that would become
That's what they're looking
nonprofit.
at. That's what they're looking into, because all they wanna do is break even too. They don't wanna make a profit, and they did state that too.
Yeah.
Shouldn't make
They
a
wanna be able to be able to
Provide
make-
patient care.
Yeah.
provide patient care and a good income for people that are working for them, a stable income.
This
Yeah,
is-
sure.
This is the other
That's their
thing.
livelihood,
Their
that's
income is more than ours, and they're looking
Yeah.
to up it. But it's like Sherry and I were talking, the benefits that the in-town people have here, they're able to do what they
And
want
they
at
can stay
home
at
until
home.
there's a call, as long as they're sober and presentable. You know,
Yeah,
they're
so
getting
that's
that
the
lesser
benefit.
And we
money.
don't seem to have a problem manning the schedule.
It
Right.
seems to be working, yeah.
It seems to be working, cross our fingers,
Yeah,
and we're
they're
getting
People
more.
like their life at home if they,
Mhm.
you know,
Right.
mow the lawn, do a few
Well,
things
yeah,
around.
there you go.
And then go on a call.
You don't
Yeah,
have to pay them
exactly.
as much
That's
if they can do
As
that.
long as we're paying
It works, it
or
works.
pay,
Yeah.
they're good with that, and that
Absolutely.
works.
And I think we keep it that way, and, you know,
Yeah,
We're saving all that other money on
Yes.
insurance
Yeah.
yes,
that they've had to pay, and
yes.
that's why we don't need to be in one,
Right, because if we go under
Right.
one roof, our cost is gonna go up because
of course it is.
everything else is gonna go up.
Right.
And with
but
everybody
if we
else.
can do the map and segregate and then have everybody have matching, instead of outbidding each other or underbidding each other, do capita the same for everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the only way these little small towns are gonna
Well,
ever
it
survive.
makes sense if you live here and the ambulance is there, you can go there, but you have to wait for somebody to come there, you might
To
as well.
get you, because
I mean,
you're paying them.
Duluth's house in Enosburg was
Yeah.
really right on the line of Sheldon. They'd take Amcare when the Enosburg ambulance around the corner.
Yeah.
Well,
That
I've
doesn't make
seen
sense.
calls right up around the corner here for Enosburg, because it was Berkshire. and
Right.
We could have been there
In
less
2
than 5
minutes,
minutes.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
So that's the things I think we really, and that's
If they're
the,
serious about it, they will
I
do
think-
that with us.
That's
so they're
what
talking
we-
about having meetings every couple months about
Yeah.
this throughout the year.
because a lot of their contracts are coming up in the next year.
Oh,
So, but what we wanna
So
do
we
is
might-
work together so we don't like underbid each other, because what happens
Well,
when you
yeah.
underbid each other, you cut your own throats.
right.
And we can't
Well,
do that.
work together, you two can meet with them, if,
Yeah.
you know.
So initially, you would advocate joining forces.
Joining forces to put an umbrella over all of our communities at an equal,
Order things
fair
together,
amount,
yeah.
but be our own entities as nonprofit. So like, we could apply for a nonprofit grant for us to help us in our service, but
You
they
wouldn't
could
have to give
also
them
do
half
it
of it.
too. Right, they wouldn't have, we wouldn't have
I
to
don't know.
divide it between three or
Sounds like a
two.
lot of backdoor politics to me.
Well,
No, I think that's be fine.
Technically, what we're trying to get is part of Berkshire and part of Montgomery.
Yeah, right.
Well, we had the
Yeah,
whole
it's
thing
part
at
of-
one time.
Part of the pot, basically.
Right,
is
right.
part of it.
And it
Right.
worked
That's not
fine.
bad.
And work with them with
And-
mutual aid
And really,
cover
we're
each
doing
other.
that, we're working that area
Now.
now, we're just not.
We're just
getting-
not getting paid for it.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
And we used to have it all,
But Enosburg's not gonna gain from that.
you know?
Well, where they're
We
gonna
would.
gain is,
Yeah, right,
is
that's my
they,
point.
their bid was lower than ours, that's how they took those towns,
Yeah.
okay? Cause those towns aren't stupid, they're
But
saving
now
money.
now they can't cover them.
But now they're having a hard time because basically they cut their own throat because they wanted the business and that's what they were trying to do.
When everybody's looking for the service, somehow everybody's gotta be involved with that service
That's
and
right.
work out
Yes, exactly.
The
Make
only
our map,
thing that
everybody's the
we're-
same
An
capita.
agreement,
In
basically.
town, out of
Yeah,
town.
be an agreement.
Small towns that have
I
contracts
agree
with
with
us.
running our own ambulance service
Right.
still.
Yeah.
It's gotta be some sort of
Yeah.
regional agreement.
Right.
No,
that
that's what I
everybody-
mean.
But it's still gonna be, you know, Enosburg's out, Richford
going
gets
back.
called
It's
to
gonna come.
one of their areas, and it could do
Oh, yeah.
our way
It's
too.
going-
Yeah,
We
our
can
way
call
too,
them.
yeah.
That's not gonna
It's
stop.
works
Right.
both ways.
Yeah.
But if we buy an
mutually-
ambulance with a grant or something, it's not gonna belong to somebody else, it's gonna belong to us. I mean,
Right.
you're maintaining your own,
Exactly, exactly.
Well, we
I
basically
hear
lost
you.
our identity on the school now, and this
so
will
let's
be
not
next
lose
for the
this, yeah,
ambulance.
let's not lose this.
Yep.
So,
So what are we gonna do about this ambulance?
I'm 100%
Sign the thing.
behind it, so.
How are we gonna pay for it?
Well, that's the thing, we didn't budget money for it, so.
We did, but we didn't get a
The only
director.
thing I can see is maybe some of this COVID money will
Yep.
come
Hopefully.
forth and work for that. They've already,
What's-
Bethany's already told me that nothing can be used on highways, so
Really?
Right.
From this
Yeah.
COVID?
that's what she told me.
I would think healthcare would be one of
I
the,
would think we would be able to do something.
I'll try to find
Because that
out.
was,
What was Lisa referring to in terms of spending those funds?
she
Didn't
said,
you-
she said she didn't know, she told me to call VLCT.
Okay, all right.
Which I'll do first thing in the morning.
Yeah, that's fine.
But my
I just
thought
thought
is-
she said there was some meetings that loosely defined it or something, no?
Oh, well, they loosely, but I went to
Yeah.
one of those meetings and it,
yeah.
Yeah,
they haven't specifically said, and they haven't sent us anything.
okay, I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, we have
definitely.
saved
I mean,
money
that would
though.
solve the problem. if
Right.
could do
We
something.
are just a
Absolutely.
hair under our budget, but we've also, on top of that, saved money on not having a director
How much was
salary.
that?
Even though she works some of the hours, she still got paid some money. Was it maybe 10,000 or 14,000? Was it for being the director? But then we don't have to pay her benefits
Do they offer a lease or could
or
we?
401k. That's what we're looking. Maybe they
Looking
could do
at,
something
like,
like
if
that.
it's-
Oh yes.
You
I
can
didn't-
get certain leases where you may only have to put $20,000
Right,
down
right.
on that this year, and then the rest of it will be lease payments down the road.
And they did quote an ambulance. They were looking at ambulances too, and
There's a
all
rebate,
quoted.
$6,000
Yeah.
rebate.
Yeah, theirs are all 20,000+ more than this one.
Yeah, I actually brought that up, that we just got a quote from
Yeah.
Robert, and they were well above
They-
ours. Enosburg's looking at ambulance too.
Yeah.
I'm probably there looking with Robert.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if they were or not.
I don't know if they were either because they
how many
had the
people
lowest
are in the
quote. I was like,
marketplace? I mean, they
Well,
can't be,
they're, I guess
He's
they,
from Enosburg, that's
Yeah.
why I
Yeah.
figured they'd go.
but he's always treated the communities very well.
Yeah.
good, no, I'm not questioning the amount of the bid.
We don't
and
need
it
to.
sounds like something
don't
we need,
to
but,
look, I mean, they've been
Yeah.
looking around.
no, I think it's great. I mean,
It's
as
how
long
to
as we
pay
can
for it.
find a
gotta-
funding mechanism, that's correct.
And
So
I
how
do
much
like-
are you figuring you can squeeze
Well, I
out?
don't think, I can't see why we couldn't take 30 for sure.
I wonder if we can do payments every year.
Well, it's all in what you come up with
For a lease.
with a lease
Yeah.
company.
We'll
Because
have
if
to
you're
apply
talking-
for the lease, basically.
What do we do, a 3-year on the trucks?
That's what we do on.
50-50-50.
I think, I'm pretty sure that's what we ended up doing this year.
Yeah, we did, I think.
Kylie got hold of some other lease companies, I think, other than the one that international, but we ended up going with the one.
3-year,
that
yeah.
Clark recommended.
I mean, we'd obviously have to budget some next year, it depends how we come out. Or if we got, I mean, we can't
But on
count
our
on a
lease, our
grant.
lease last year, we could have deferred the payments totally.
I know.
Paid a cent the first year and had them,
But we had money, so we paid it.
so we paid
Yeah.
it, we paid it
We didn't have
basically a
to.
year after.
Right, so there's a possibility of something like this as well.
Yeah, I don't know what they offer for financing at all.
I mean,
Well,
we'd rather pay it up front, but
Well, if we
only
can,
come
if
up
we
with
got a
30.
grant.
Well, if we got money.
So
We
if
don't
you
have
sign that.
No, I meant lease payment.
If
on
we
the
have-
shoes that
If we
money.
sign
Come
it,
Just in guarantees that we'll have an ambulance.
it's
if we
gonna
want.
hold the ambulance. It's what
It's
he,
guaranteeing that we want it.
yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know how long he would hold that.
I got his number right here. I can
Call
call
him
and
after.
ask.
I think when it comes to money, we probably gotta talk with Kylie, cause she's the one in charge of the money.
Well, that's, when we find out what the stipulations of this is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
comes to finance.
Well, she's in charge of the money, but if we tell her to write a check, she has to write it anyway, that's the problem.
She may balk out.
She may, but. If you don't have to take it, that makes me happier. If you're just guaranteeing that you'd have a truck, or a truck.
Hi, Robert. This is Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, we're in a select board meeting right now, so you're aware. The question is, so if we sign this paper, it just is holding the ambulance for us. If something came up and we weren't able to get the ambulance, it's nothing that's held against us, is that correct?
Correct. Basically, all you're doing is just we're holding it for you.
How long for, Robert?
Well, it's gonna, I'll hold it for you now and through, at least when the thing comes in September.
Okay, so that's, we would know by
Yeah,
then.
because see what happens, these things are being, got the other salesmen, we have other salesmen and they're just grabbing these things and,
Oh, yeah.
and the boss says whatever, first come, first serve.
Right, okay. So, yeah, if we didn't take it, you'd easily be able to sell it in September, I'm sure.
Oh, good God, yeah.
Yeah.
It will be sold to somebody else.
Yeah,
not a problem.
but this would give us a chance to find the money.
Yeah, at least at least we know you will have one come September.
I like that.
Okay.
Is there a lease, you don't do any financing, we have to find the financing?
Yeah, we don't do any of that.
Okay, okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Guess not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay, Andy, if you guys do sign it tonight, just email it back to me. We'll be all set.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, if there's no commitment,
obligation.
no obligation, that makes me feel a lot better. We'll have
I don't mind signing things if I have
have no
no.
obligation. Me either.
All right, so,
Well, that way too, it gives us 3 months to find,
Yeah,
Well, if this COVID money can be used for something like that, it'd be a
with
great
the
down
bonus.
payment, I guess,
Yeah.
if we can use it.
Or give
Or
it the
some
whole
other
thing.
money. Who knows? It might be
We're,
a grant.
we're supposed to
that,
get
you know.
$700,000.
I understand.
so
I just
we'll
don't
do-
know what we can mix for grants. Sometimes if you get
Everybody
one grant,
sign.
you
Right,
can't
I
do another
understand.
one with it.
Yep.
Everybody sign, or?
everybody sign.
As long as I'm not having to pay for it, I'll sign it.
So we don't need a
Yeah,
motion?
give me
or
2 of them.
anything?
What the heck?
We can make one. I
Yeah,
think it'd be better.
a motion is better.
Okay,
Always.
all right.
Sherry makes a motion to accept the
Non-binding.
non-binding agreement to purchase an ambulance by September.
I will second that.
At least
All
to
those-
hold it till September.
Let's hold it till
September.
See if funding becomes available.
If, yeah, pending,
Pending
based on
fund,
money.
based
of
on,
it.
yeah, definitely based on funding.
Exactly. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I think we
Aye.
just-
Aye.
Let's do a voice vote, so everybody, if, aye,
Aye. Oh.
Aye.
all 5, okay.
Aye.
I think it's a good idea.
I got,
Who's gonna dare give
I
it
get-
to Kylie tomorrow?
I got one other item
Yeah,
that
we're not
we
done.
should have on record. The new police contract.
Okay.
I would move that
Yes.
we approve the agreement starting this month. And how long is the agreement?
3 years.
3-year agreement.
Again,
With the Franklin?
it's we can
I understand
cancel.
there's escape
Did you sign
clauses,
that?
No, I didn't.
I just figured I skipped you.
but it should definitely go in the minutes that
Yeah.
we're renewing the,
And we're able to get out of that contract if the budget does not pass.
Right, or any dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when's the 3-month temporary?
It's up
come?
now.
It's up now.
yeah, we're basically
We
done
already
with it.
signed the other one by mistake, so he has the other one. If all we have to do is say, no, we can get it back, but.
I mean, if you're against it, we can talk about it.
Talking about it doesn't help it any, they just do what they wanna do anyway.
Well,
We've been
I
very
don't agree with that.
lucky
The last
the
couple
last
of weeks,
couple of weeks
a
that we've
lot
had
of stuff has
police.
Couple
happened.
weeks ago, you weren't happy.
I know, but in the last couple of
seen
weeks,
some
an
things.
awful lot has happened.
When they run by his house and there's guns ablazing,
Yeah, I mean, weapons are drawn in my backyard.
Oh, yeah.
It tends to give me a different opinion.
Feel better.
Changes things just a hair.
I gotta tell you,
I
I
was gonna say,
watched,
there was 2 of them riding around during the week, I know, which you were stressing that you didn't like
Yeah,
last week.
I know.
2 of them in one car, 2 days during the
Yeah,
week.
I
but
know.
I
remember,
don't know what was up.
some of our big crimes happened in the middle of the daytime.
Oh, I
One
know.
attempted murder and one this.
Oh, I know they do.
I have to tell you, I watched the video of the crash. Our cameras, it's clear as me looking at you right here. And when he came around that corner by the crossing and hit Mrs. Bilodeau, my God, that car went up and hit that wall. he jumped out of that car and ran, and I'm telling you, Andre, I don't know. He went like, he was out of his cruiser chasing him up
Yeah.
Townhouse Hill like a young kid running. I'm telling you, I
It's
was, the adrenaline, I was like, whoa.
He would do better than I.
I would have been able to
So
get
he
out
was
of the
right
car.
there on the scene, huh?
He was really
Well, he
pumped.
was
He came to
coming
my
from
house and his
school.
face
He
was
was-
all bleeding and stuff,
Well, he-
and he was running around.
Well,
He fell
I
on
don't
his
wanna say- I don't
face.
wanna say on camera what happened,
That's okay.
because, yeah, but he took a beating, yeah.
He didn't miss a beat though.
And he didn't
I
miss a
mean,
beat.
he
Oh
was
my
all
God, that man.
all about it and
Ran up
pursuit
that
of this
hill.
guy. And
What you gotta do.
Yeah, well, he did, and
Yeah,
they
he's
were
a
in
nice
front of
guy.
his house when they apprehended him, I guess.
yeah, down by the monk's house.
Finally.
Yeah.
6 state cops, 2 sheriffs, and then the actual sheriff I saw get out of his car in
Yeah.
unmarked, and border patrol, and man, it was quite the scene, so.
They've been much more active, and I know for a fact a couple of the drug vehicles
Yep.
that I recognized from the neighborhood were arrested recently,
Yeah.
and the vehicles were impounded and towed away and things like that.
Well, and you
So
talk about daytime, I just was out in the street for about an hour the other day, and the guy had stopped 3 people, the daytime. It doesn't hurt to have daytime once in a while, I don't think.
yeah, no,
No, I think it's
go.
good to break it up.
Test home.
Yeah, it is good to break it up and not know when they're gonna be here. So anyway, did you wanna say we need to
yeah,
You made the
I
motion.
make a motion to
continue?
establish the new contract with the sheriff's
3
department that starts in June
June.
for the next 3 years. And we do have appropriate escape clauses
We do.
for lack of performance
We
or
both do.
whatever.
They
Yeah.
do too.
So,
I'll second that.
okay.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Let's do a motion. Yes?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Okay. There's some things we need to either state our.
Very stern, yes.
Anything
We should have
else?
little flashcards.
Yeah, yes, no. Anybody got any other information that they want to?
I
That's good.
don't believe I have
Okay.
any.
Meeting adjourned.